Because I really feel like, and I'm getting ready to make some changes in this PowerPoint. Good stuff there, to the book. But I want to spend more time on what we think and how we process things. Not just in leadership, in all aspects of life. Because there is a process called programming that you're familiar with that has to do with repetitive statements that you make, and you make them to your brain. And when you're a little child, you learn a lot of things, about yourself, about your world, how you see yourself, how other people see you. If your mother and father say you're dumb, stupid, or whatever, and you keep hearing that all the time, eventually you program that into the subconscious mind. And now I believe I'm dumb. I don't want to be dumb. Who wants to be dumb? Nobody wants to be dumb. I don't want to be dumb, but I am. But somehow I'm going to try to fool everybody that I'm not, because I don't want to be dumb. I don't like being dumb. It doesn't feel good. And so on forth. There's no positives there. All negatives. So somehow I'm going to fool my world into thinking I'm not dumb, you see. But I believe it because the subconscious mind has already programmed it. Because repetitively I've said that to myself enough. Now we're talking about situations in leadership that really impact the church when there are these kinds of insecurities in the mind and heart of a leader. So we're getting down to some nitty-gritty stuff here. So what you tell your brain enough times, whether it's true or false, is going to be programmed in the subconscious. You learned how to drive a car one time. Once you learn that, the brain says, okay, there it is, Ken Wilson, you know how to do it. I've taken all that information, it's programmed subconscious, you don't have to learn how to drive a car before you get into it, right? You all know that, that's simple stuff. There are three parts to the brain. There's the conscious part, which we're talking about right now. There's the subconscious, where all the programmed belief systems are, and all of the habits and all that stuff. And then there's the unconscious. How many of you are unconscious today? I was raising your hand, so I guess we're in good shape. Okay. That's where all the stuff, trauma and stuff that you... Do you realize the brain responds, the five senses, to everything that's in your atmosphere, in your world, in your life? All the smells, all the words spoken, all the touch, all of that, all that you hear, that's all recorded in the brain. All of it. Can you imagine that? We don't have a computer that can do that, nothing close to that. Everything that responds to five senses is recorded in the brain. Now, most of it's put in the unconscious mind, and it's a matter of recall. We probably would not recall most of that. Nobody wants to. But it's there. Most of it for a period of time. Some of it eventually dissipates, but it's all recorded at one time. But we have belief systems that we recorded that we have thought about ourselves and told ourselves. And so, at times in your life, especially in your younger life, when somebody called you stupid, or you sensed somebody was going to diss you or disrespect you, then you saw that as a threat. And you programmed in your mind that you already believe you're stupid. So as you get older, when you think somebody is dissing you in some way, or somebody is disrespecting you in some way, because now it's a threat to this belief system that says, I am dumb, and I'm vulnerable, and anything that's in my world that suggests to me that I'm dumb is a threat to me, because I'm being disrespected. So what do? I get angry. That's just one example. And so I chose to get angry when somebody seems to disrespect me a long time ago, and I took it personally because of my own insecurities about thinking that I'm dumb. And so I made the choice a long time ago to see that as a threat. If anybody treats me disrespectfully or in some way, just maybe some body language or whatever, then right away I get angry and I'm threatened. They're saying to me, I am dumb. I don't want to be dumb. And so then I react and get angry because it's a perceived threat. Now later on in life, that happens as a child. Later on in life, that belief system's still there. But now maybe the wife is kind of putting me down, or maybe the husband is kind of saying things about me that I'm not very smart or very slow or whatever. Whoa, all of a sudden I get angry. Now at that point, I'm saying to myself, I'm getting angry because my husband is saying something that upsets me. But it's not my choice. It's a matter of being a victim. He said something that I sensed was an attack on my ability to think or what have you. And I've already programmed in my subconscious mind that that's a threat. So right away I get angry, you see. And then I say things that are unwholesome or whatever. We get into this fight. And all the time I'm saying, no, he's the one who made me angry. You understand what I'm saying? You relate to what I'm saying? So in reality, it was your choice way back when because of the insecurities that you had. It was your choice, but at that moment, you automatically reacted. The brain saying, uh-oh, here's an incoming bullet here. It says you're dumb. Automatically, you're supposed to get angry. And the brain then tells you to get angry, and you do. But it's still a decision. You have to deal with your insecurities. And so, there is no sense, no truth in the fact that you can blame your emotions on somebody else. I have counseled people over the years on this subject and spent a lot of time working with them. And after we've got through all this, blame game and being the victim, and we're so victimized in our society today, it's ridiculous. And when we get through all that business and say, no, yeah, you are to blame. You can't blame anybody else. You made the choice. You can make the choice not to. And once they get through all of that and finally realize that they made the choice, now they're going to take responsibility and make the choice to not let their emotions control them. I've had testimony after testimony of people that have gone through that program with me, telling me that, that has released me. That has taken a burden off my shoulders. I feel like life is good again. I feel like the Lord's working in my life again. I feel like I'm under control. And I feel like, that this is what I need to be and how I need to be. It empowers them. So the first reaction I get to this law is, oh, it's not my choice. He made me do it, she made me do it. I had people that I've counseled that as soon as it starts getting cloudy in the fall, that they had to take a pill so they could get through the fall. You say, now my son-in-law's been over, he hates rain. I think he's been taking pills every time he comes over. Because they couldn't take it, So he lives over here, see. He'd rather watch tumbleweeds and I wouldn't get into that. But you see what we're saying? I can't take it. We got so many people on pills today. Tons of people. That's another pet peeve I have. Getting on pills because you can't take this, can't handle that, can't deal with this. You see, as a Christian, I cannot use that kind of out. I can't use that kind of excuse. I've got to take responsibility for how I feel and what I say and what I do. And I can't blame anybody else anymore. Paul's saying you can't blame anybody else. Take responsibility. James says you can control your anger. And some will say, well, Jesus got angry. Yeah, he did. Did he control it? He didn't kill anybody, did he? Did he control it? Yeah. There's times when you should get angry. Remember over in 1 Corinthians 5? When Paul is dealing with a church in Corinth that had a man that was living with his father's wife. And Paul rebuked them. And over in 2 Corinthians chapter 7, he said, you finally took responsibility. He said, you were proud about this situation. Oh, have you ever seen this kind of attitude? Oh, well, yeah, we know this man's living with his father's wife. He's a member of the church. But we don't judge here. Okay? We don't judge people. We just love them. And Paul's saying, yeah, you love him right into hell. That's what you're doing. You're loving him right into hell because you won't judge. You won't get angry about something that is immoral and ungodly and is affecting the church and destroying the church. That's 1 Corinthians 5. So there's times you do get angry. And Paul rebuked them because in their arrogance, they wouldn't get angry about something that was immoral, like Jesus did when he cleansed the temple. So there are times to get angry. But your anger needs to be tempered and your anger needs to be under control. And your speech needs to be under control. Fathers, take note of that. Leaders, take note of that. And, I don't know about you, but being in stores at times and seeing parents just totally lose it with their kids, scream and holler at them. Maybe they don't spank them, because that's not legal sometimes anymore, but still scream and holler at them. You see, verbal abuse is just as damaging as physical abuse is. And so this idea of communication, it requires, beyond a doubt, our ability to accept responsibility. And we're not going to be able to build up one another if we don't have control of our emotions. It's not going to happen. And we keep blaming somebody else or something. Now, I see little kids do that. I was watching my grandkids today. I won't mention any names, But bless their hearts. They're kids, So they'll say, you made me do that. And one says, you got to let me win once in a while because you cheat all the time. See, there you go. That's understandable. They're kids, see?